Thank you so much, Dr. Harry, for that incredible talk. And of the many things that you said that were so enlightening and useful, I thought the small nugget, every yes you say is a no and to something else. And I think that as we go on to celebrate all the incredible mentoring relationships here, that's a big part of what we want to be thinking about is that whole relationship that was built because of choice and intentionality. So we're ready now to move on to the awards ceremony portion to celebrate the 2024 MISHAR Distinguished Clinical and Translational Research Mentor and Peer Mentor Awards. And this annual event is really one of the highlights of the year for the MISHAR Educational and Mentoring Team. This award was established in 2012 and recognizes faculty who foster the intellectual, creative, scholarly, and professional growth of their students, fellows, and trainees in the areas of clinical, translational, and health research. During this time, we have received over 250 nominations across the entire university community. All of those who have been nominated for this very competitive award are truly exceptional mentors. Many of the past awardees are even in the room today. And everyone who's been nominated makes the choice of awards so extremely challenging. To date, 84 mentors from 12 different schools, colleges, and departments across the university have received the MISHAR Mentor Award, which recognizes mentors who have distinguished themselves in several areas: supporting a diverse set of mentees, communication and relationship management, career and professional development, and research development. This year, MISHAR selected 7 mentors from a field of remarkable and generous research leaders, each of whom contribute enormously to our University of Michigan environment. I would like to take a moment to highlight our new award this year, the Faculty and Staff Peer Mentor Award. With this new award, we celebrate the impact of early career faculty who mentor peers and mentees, as well as the tremendous work of staff who coach and mentor peers, faculty, postdocs, and students in the clinical, translational, and health research community. Today, we are going to hear from the people who nominated each awardee as they share with us how these mentors superbly demonstrate the qualities of an exceptional mentor. Then we will also hear from each awardee as they share some of their wisdom on mentorship. We've asked each of the awardees to speak on one of 3 topics: advice they would give to mentees and mentors across career stages, lessons they have learned about mentorship over the years, and or what they feel is important for menteeship. So without further ado, it's my great privilege to present the recipients of the 2024 awards. Our first award goes to Dr. Allison Ruff. Unfortunately, Dr. Ruff was unable to be here today. She's the inaugural recipient of the MISHAR Distinguished Clinical and Translational Research Faculty Peer Mentor Award. She's a clinical associate professor in the Department of Internal Medicine, the Division of General Medicine. And while she's unable to be here today, we have a brief recording that we would like to share.
Hello, and good afternoon. I am so honored to be the recipient of the MICR Distinguished Clinical and Translational Research Faculty Peer Mentor Award. I'm very disappointed that I'm unable to be there in person for this wonderful ceremony. I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive this mentorship award today. This recognition holds a special place in my heart, as mentorship has been a cornerstone of my personal and professional journey. I want to especially thank my own peer mentors, especially Dr. Renuka Tipernini, for nominating me for this award. Throughout my career, I've come to appreciate the profound impact of finding a community of mentors and mentees. I struggled to find mentorship early in my career, in part because I was looking for someone with a path that looked exactly like my dream career, and I couldn't find someone. It's crucial to remember that a mentor does not have to walk the same career path as you. Sometimes a small piece of wisdom from someone in a seemingly different place in their career can profoundly enhance your journey, offering fresh perspectives and new tools that you might have overlooked otherwise. I also want to highlight the invaluable role of peer mentorship. Often overlooked, the guidance and advice from those who are in the same stage of life or career can be incredibly empowering. These peers who navigate similar challenges and milestones, they bring unique empathy and insights. And their support and camaraderie helps us see new opportunities and surmount obstacles and achieve goals that we might have otherwise thought were out of reach. As I accept this award, I celebrate not just my role as a mentor, but the collective spirit of mentorship in general. I'm profoundly grateful for the mentors who guided me with selflessness, to the mentees who've learned from me with openness, and especially to my peers who walked alongside me with unwavering support. Thank you once again for this incredible honor. I am inspired to continue fostering a community where mentorship thrives and where we can all grow and succeed together. Thank you so much.
Dr. Ruff, if you are watching remotely, congratulations. And unfortunately, her nominators likewise were not able to attend today, but we have a few brief excerpts to share from the nomination packet. From Dr. Ranuccia Tipernini, Associate Professor of Internal Medicine. Dr. Ruff serves as a coach in the medical school, working alongside medical students to provide critical coaching, mentorship, and guidance as students circumvent the challenges associated with balancing medical school and personal well-being. She also serves as a mentor for internal medicine residents. With her focus on primary care and medical education, residents frequently approach her for career and life guidance, as well as mentorship in education-based research. Most importantly, however, is that Dr. Ruff focuses her mentorship efforts towards her peers. She is a founding member of a women's faculty peer mentorship group comprised of research and clinical faculty, and coaches myself and other peers to pursue our passions while navigating the challenges of succeeding as a woman faculty member in the medical school. She is an excellent listener and a coach, but is also not afraid to show her own challenges and vulnerabilities in order to help others. Through active guidance, as well as regular supportive dialogue, Dr. Ruff has helped these faculty grow to now become peer mentors of others, all focused on helping women feel confident and impactful in their careers. And from Dr. Danielle Devlin, a pulmonary and critical care fellow. I must emphasize Dr. Ruff's role in shaping my career in the face of the unique challenges I experience as a woman in primary care. She continues to coach me as I recently transitioned to becoming a parent while juggling my clinical roles. As a mother who is incredibly present and active in her children's lives, Dr. Ruff maintains a high level of academic productivity, educational interests, and robust clinical responsibilities. It is really inspiring to see someone model how to make this work in a practical sense, while also normalizing their own challenges and vulnerability in this space. I ardently advocate for Dr. Allison Ruff to be your choice for this year's Mishar Peer Mentor Award. So congratulations once again. Our next awardee is Nurse Catherine Martin. Kathy Martin is the inaugural recipient of the Mishar Distinguished Clinical and Translational Research Staff Peer Mentor Award. She is a clinical nurse 4 and research coordinator in internal medicine in the Division of Metabolism, Endocrinology, and Diabetes, and she is an adjunct clinical instructor in the School of Nursing. Speaking on behalf of Kathy is Amy Katona and Andrea Valcia, and Amy is a senior clinical research coordinator in pediatric endocrinology at Michigan Medicine, and Andrea is an administrative manager in the Michigan Diabetic Research Center in the clinical research unit. So I'll have you come to the stage, please, and tell us all about your roles in mentoring and menteeship.
As you know, the 2024 Mishar Peer Mentor Award recognizes the value of mentoring to the University of Michigan in assisting clinical and translational investigators and research staff to reach across disciplinary boundaries in pursuit of science. It also recognizes the important role mentoring plays in ensuring the personal and professional development of a peer or mentee. Amy and I are two of the peers and mentees this award has in mind.
The selection criteria for the 2024 Mishar Peer Mentor Award include supporting a diverse set of peers, communication and relationship management, psychosocial support, guidance for career and professional development, professional enculturation and scientific inquiry, assisting in the research development and clinical and translational investigator development.
You can imagine that we could use way more than 2 minutes to describe Kathy Martin, the person we're here to introduce. So let's instead talk about Amy and me. I met Kathy about 10 years ago. In the past 10 years, I moved up from the career ladder from recruitment coordinator to clinical research coordinator to clinical research manager to research area specialist lead, and now I'm the administrative manager of the Michigan Diabetes Research Center's clinical research unit. I would not be in this position without her mentorship and encouragement.
I have to agree. And in fact, her support always extends beyond the specific project we're working on. I met Kathy just over 6 years ago, and during that time, I've advanced from a clinical research coordinator to a senior clinical research coordinator position. And this position has enabled me to train and mentor younger colleagues in my department. Thanks to her constant encouragement, I've confidently taken on additional academic and professional initiatives. I'm now a co-author of several publications and actively serve on national committees, all due to her support. She truly is a role model in all the selection criteria for the 2024 Misher Peer Mentor Award. She proactively engages with her team members, aiming to lift all of us up and to support us.
It is our distinct pleasure to introduce to you our friend and mentor, Catherine Louise Martin.
I think the word is gobsmacked, and I was when I first heard about this incredible honor, and because my personality tends towards the cynical, and imposter syndrome was something that came into my mind quite a bit. My first thought was the old I Love Lucy television series, the episode called Lucy Writes a Novel. And I don't know if any of you remember Lucy Writes a Novel, but Lucy wrote a novel. She thought it was great. She shopped it around to a lot of publishers. Ricky, Fred, Ethel all said, it's terrible. This is never going to get published. And much to their surprise, she got an offer from a publisher who wanted to buy her novel. So she met with the publisher after being, I told you so, I told you I'm a brilliant writer. And turns out the publisher wanted to publish it as and this is how not to write a novel in a textbook. And so sadly, that's where my head went. But, in terms of, I think most of the people, the other awardees here are all really, as I read their bios, they're all really in sort of formal mentorship roles. And I think that is so, so very important, and glad that they have defined and carved out for themselves as part of their career being a mentor. I think I'm more in an informal mentorship role. And I think that's something that all of us bring to the table. We should all be mentors to our peers. I think it's our duty. If we've had any experience in our careers, in life, we have a duty to share that. And I think most importantly, we have a duty to give our mentees the space and the confidence to challenge us, to work with us, and to exceed us. So thank you all so very much.
Thank you so much. And as the inaugural recipient, you have set the bar high. The next awardee is Dr. Chad Brummett. Dr. Brummett is the Burt N. Ladue Professor of Anesthesiology, a Senior Associate Chair for Research in the department, co-director of the Opioid Research Institute, and co-director of the Overdose Prevention Engagement Network in the medical school. Speaking on his behalf is Dr. Leamy Sharif, who is a first-year resident in the Department of Anesthesiology at the University of Michigan.
My name is Leamy, and I am honored to be, here today to see Dr. Brummett get this award. I met Dr. Brummett about 2 years ago and had been working with him since on research projects, and honestly had been floored by the amount of impact he had in the Department of Anesthesiology, but honestly like across disciplines as well in Michigan medicine, and had really been focusing on creating communities, and communities where people felt like they were valued and that their voice was heard, even the most junior members of the team. And so, everyone felt like they had something significant to contribute to the conversation. And I think in addition to that, has also been a proponent of gender equity and working with students who are really diverse and across the country as well. And has been a great individual who really, with these folks across the country, like individuals who are across the research spectrum, from undergraduates to medical students to faculty as well. And so I think there are so many people who, when the opportunity came to nominate Dr. Brummett for this award, were more than happy to support within hours of hearing about this opportunity. So, we've got a really great community, and, I'm really glad to be here to see Dr. Brummett get this award. So.
I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know that you were going to give remarks before me, so that threw me off a little bit. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am truly humbled by this award. I'm conscious of MSHR, its role in my career. My first mentored research grant was the KL2, and it was due to the support of peer and faculty mentors, both in my department and across. But today is really meaningful, and I think you see why. People like Leamy and several others that are here today who helped nominate me without any knowledge really make this special, because I believe you are the future of the specialty. I think that when I look at you, I see not just anesthesiology research, but the broader medical community and the impact that you'll bring. I am conscious that I learn from you, I think, more than you learn from me. I take so much from these relationships and from mentoring you. And your passion, creativity, and your resilience inspire me every day. And I look forward to seeing your next steps. I know that you're going to bring to our specialty in medicine so much, not only in your own work, but in the mentoring that you'll do and the lives of the people that you'll influence. So thank you again. This is an incredible honor.
Our next awardee is Dr. Lene Darbus, who is a professor and vice chair in the Department of Health Behavior and Biological Sciences in the School of Nursing. And speaking on her behalf is Dr. Patricia Hirschberger, who is the Reta Dumas Endowed Professor of Nursing, chair of the Department of Health Behavior and Biological Sciences, and professor of nursing in the School of Nursing.
Well, hello, everyone. I am honored to be here today and speak about Dr. Lene Darbus. I was asked to speak about Dr. Darbus in regards to the award criteria, and I can tell you that she, without a doubt, exceeds the criteria. Dr. Darby excels at many things, including mentoring our young scientist. She herself is arguably one of our nation's top scholars in mitigating HIV, especially in Africa. But more than prioritizing her own work, Dr. Darbus has successfully mentored numerous scholars, many from underrepresented minority groups. For example, she is primary mentor on 2 K Awards, and notably, both of these awards were funded on the first submission. She is also primary mentor on a 3rd K Award for one of our School of Nursing PhD graduates, who is now an assistant professor at the University of California, San Francisco. To further convey the award criteria, I gleaned insight, as did you, Emily, I see, from the glowing letters submitted by her mentees. For example, one letter from an assistant professor here at our School of Nursing stated, Dr. Darbus takes the time to understand the situation at hand before providing advice and provides constructive feedback when you need it most. Without her push, persistence, and patience as a mentor, my vision as tenure-track faculty and work-life balance would not have been as clear. Another mentee, Dr. Yu Lin, who is a UM Clinical Associate Professor of Internal Medicine, wrote, Dr. Darbus epitomizes professionalism and approachability. And this is one of my favorites. Whenever, Dr. Lin went on to write, whenever I encounter challenges without immediate solutions, Dr. Darbus is my trusted go-to person. So that meant a lot to me because I've had a lot of those without immediate solution situations. So I hope I have given you some ideas of how Dr. Lene Darbus embodies a skillful mentor and how deserving she is of the Mishar Distinguished Clinical and Translational Research Mentor Award. On behalf of everyone at the School of Nursing, Dr. Darbus, congratulations.
Yeah, it's hard to speak after that. Thank you all so much. I'm so honored to receive this award. I appreciate those kind words and the nomination from Dr. Hirschberger, as well as from those mentees from whom I have also learned so much. I want to offer 3 words of advice that have informed my own mentoring, learned from an early mentor of mine. Other people matter. This was the mantra of one of my first mentors, Dr. Chris Peterson, a Golden Apple Award-winning professor of psychology here at the University of Michigan, where I got my undergraduate degree in psychology. We sadly lost him more than 10 years ago. He was one of the founders and leaders of the positive psychology movement, which shifted focus from the abnormal, the pathological, weakness, and deficits to resilience, strength, and what makes life worth living. Other people matter was his guiding philosophy, focusing on the value of interconnectedness and relationships. I did not meet him via one of his impossible to get into classes, but rather through my waitressing job at the late great Cottage Inn Pizza on William Street. He would come into the restaurant and hang out and write, longhand on legal pads, for his classes, journal articles, and books. I knew who he was, of course, and he had a reputation for being kind and approachable, both of which turned out to be true. He was the first person who suggested that I should go to graduate school in clinical psychology. He connected me to my first research job at Michigan Medicine, and when I left Ann Arbor, it was his connections that helped me to land a research job at the University of California, San Francisco, an experience which would set the course for my professional life in HIV prevention and treatment. Other people matter, even the kooky waitress at Cottage Inn who is now speaking to you today. Academia is difficult. We are all familiar with its challenges. I aim in my mentoring to not cover up the struggles that are inherent in juggling work and family life, and to be open about my own challenges. I aim to help mentees focus on their strengths rather than their weaknesses, and to recognize that there is not one right way to do anything. It is okay to forge their own path, reflecting their own values. I try to let them know that it is okay to prioritize yourself, your needs, and the other people that matter to them. Mentors and mentees are an example of the power of personal connections that, for me, make life worth living, and for that I am and will be eternally grateful. I'd also like to thank some of the people that matter to me, my colleagues, my mentees, my own mentors. My daughter is here. My husband was unable to be here. My mother and my sister, who I think are streaming this, and my family and friends. All of you matter so much. Thank you.
So that was a heartwarming reference to Dr. Peterson, who I also had an undergraduate class with. So that was really neat to hear his legacy. Our next awardee is Dr. Mark Peters-Golden. Dr. Peters-Golden is professor of internal medicine in the Division of Pulmonary and Critical Care Medicine at the School of Medicine. And speaking on his behalf is Dr. Stephen Huang, and he is also in the Department of Internal Medicine in the Division of Pulmonary and Critical Care Medicine.
Just have some brief notes that I was writing down while I was solving the Rubik's Cube with my daughter last night. But I want to say, I have to really say I'm very honored, actually myself, to stand here today, really on behalf of the many dozens, scores of mentees who would have all said that we're ecstatic to see Mark be honored with such a well-deserving mentorship award. I think one measure of success as a mentor is just not just the individuals who are here that he's mentored in the division right now, but really the decades of mentees that he's had that are all over the world. These include people who are now researchers and faculty at Northwestern, Penn, Indiana, Ohio, Vermont, people in Korea, England, Japan, France, Brazil, the Netherlands, and all of these individuals have become successful researchers, leaders, directors, division chiefs, even department heads. And I know many of them are actually on Zoom watching and cheering Mark on to get the award. But I would say even beyond just the number of mentees and our academic success, I think what really holds dear to Mark's heart is just being about a mentor for you, the person. He, always finds the time to stops, listens, thinks, and reflects on what you say. He is invested in you. When people join his lab, it's not just about working on his project. He actually wants you to develop your own. He wants you to grow scientifically, develop new ideas, learn how to think critically, and just become a better physician, better scientist. And he also spends the time to mentor you professionally, working through the minefields of either academia or industry. And he really spends the time personally as well. I even remember years ago when I was when I talked to him about even relationship advice, and he provided a lot of useful advice then. I've actually been his mentee since probably almost 20 years now. Obviously I don't talk to him as frequently as I used to, like when I was early on, and I used to meet with him every day or, every week. But even just last week, I had a very, I met with him one-on-one, and he actually talked and touched base on a lot of the things that Dr. Harry just mentioned today about rocks and buckets and making choices. He didn't use rocks and buckets, but he talked about the importance of making choices. So I'm really happy to stand here on behalf of all of his mentees and say how much of an honor it is to have Mark be awarded the award.
Thank you, Steve, for those comments and to all the current and past mentees who apparently conspired for this nomination. I'm really humbled and honored. Much of my research has involved dissecting the conversations between different cell types in health and disease. These conversations involve bidirectional communication. Each cell type has to successfully both deliver and receive messages. Mentoring is much the same. Effective mentoring first requires understanding your mentee. You have to listen, ask questions, where they are in their scientific journey, what they know, what they don't know, what they need, and how and even whether they understand their needs. That's not so easy. Once you understand your mentee, you have to tailor your approach to teaching, guidance, and role modeling to their needs. Although precisely what each mentee needs is inherently different, whether your mentee is an undergrad or a senior faculty member like Steve, they all ultimately want the same thing. They want to be heard, They want to be understood. They want to feel like you're making an effort to provide them what they need at that time in their life. And most importantly, they want to know that they matter. What they do matters. At the same time, even the best mentoring requires a receptive mentee who is making responsible efforts to hear, to understand, and to put into action what you are trying to deliver. A two-way conversation that is constantly evolving and deepening over time. Anyone with children will, of course, appreciate the parallels between mentoring and parenting. So yes, it is really simple. So again, thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Our next awardee is Dr. Matthew Smith, who is Associate Dean for Research and Professor of Social Work and the Director for Level Up, which is Employment Skills Simulation Lab in the School of Social Work. And speaking on his behalf is Carrie Sherwood, who is a doctoral candidate in the Joint PhD program in Social Work and Psychology.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad I wore heels because otherwise you might not be able to see me. So I'm so glad to be here today. I have been working with Matt for the past 6 years. He's the Associate Dean of Research and a professor in the School of Social Work and is the director of the Level Up Employment Skills Simulation Lab and co-director of the Treatment Innovation and Dissemination Research Group in the School of Social Work. He develops and evaluates technology-based interventions to improve employment and mental health outcomes for individuals with disabilities, serious mental illness, and justice system impacted individuals. From day one, since I started working with him, he's really gone above and beyond to provide exceptional mentorship for me and others in the School of Social Work. As a first-generation college student, I often have the feeling of being an imposter in the world of academia, but Matt continually reminds me that I belong here and has always believed in me and my abilities as a researcher, often more than I believe in myself. He has always extended invitations to meetings most PhD students never get the opportunity to sit in on. I've met with his program officers at NIH, his collaborators from other universities across the country, community partners, and technology partners. And he has taught me the crafts of intervention design, grant writing, manuscript preparation and publication, and always makes time to provide in-depth feedback for anyone who asks. He has earned the reputation for being able to map out anyone's 5-year trajectory after sitting down with them for just a few minutes. So if you're at a crossroads, just sit down with him after the ceremony here, and he'll probably be able to help you out. He has a knack for that. He's given me a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to be a principal investigator and manage a large research team. And while juggling my parenting responsibilities and health issues over the past few years, he's always been patient with my progress and allowed me to work at my own pace. He has undoubtedly played a key role in getting me to where I am now, which is in my final dissertation writing stage. And I know he's had an equally significant impact on many others' careers as well. I'm thrilled to be able to celebrate him as a recipient of this award today.
Thanks, Carrie. Excuse me. So I'd like to thank Ms. Shar for sharing this honor with me and my colleagues here today, who are all very deserving of this recognition. In addition to Carrie, I'd also like to thank my trainees and my staff for nominating me. So Carrie has been an absolute delight and one of the strongest trainees I've ever had the pleasure to work with. She really makes it easy to be a mentor. And so it's just really great that we had the opportunity to have this experience together today. I'd also like to thank my partner, Robin Smith, for enduring my long hours and being a fantastic parent with me. I'd also like to thank my children, Raella, Archer, and Finley, for keeping me on my toes and being the joy in my life. And by the way, parenting is way harder than being a mentor. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And I'd also like to thank my wonderful Level Up family that's sitting over there today for all of their commitment and passion that they bring to the job every day. Again, I want to thank my students, my trainees, my colleagues, especially my Dean Beth Angel, who's here today, for believing in me and giving me opportunities. And so I'd also like to share that for those like me who experience ADHD, know that you can find a pathway to success. And when I think about what advice I'd share with mentees and mentors across the career stage, one of the first things that came to mind was really leaning on humility. As a social worker, it's a core value that I use, as it's really critical to know that we as mentors can learn just as much from our mentees as they can learn from us. I'd also like to share that, using skills such as active listening, motivational interviewing, are really great tools for mentors to support their trainees, focusing on using open-ended questions to really get the trainees thinking for themselves, to really empower their self-directedness and self-determination. And so in addition, mentors really lean into that developing trust and mutual respect with your mentees. Become adaptable to how your mentees learn and expect that their needs are going to change. And for you, and how you support them is going to change as they continue to grow. Some lessons that I've learned over the years, first, it's definitely not about me or us as mentors. It's really about facilitating the growth of new scientists and better people. And the analogy I'd like to use is from when I was a kid in Scouts. We'd go camping, and the leaders would really emphasize, always leave a campsite cleaner than when you arrived. And so with science, we really want to make sure we're shepherding stronger scientists who will continue to elevate and innovate that rigor of the scientific method. And it's our job as mentors to hold them to that. And for mentees, remember that mentorship is a partnership. Work with your mentors to identify your training goals and research aims that are going to put you on the pathway to success. And so I know time is short, and I'll just share one last critical lesson I've learned, and that's mentorship takes a village. No one mentor is going to provide everything that a mentee needs. And so make sure you're supporting your mentees to grow their network of additional mentors who may have additional expertise to support their development. And so again, thank you for this honor, and I'm deeply proud to continue mentoring and building those relationships. So thank you very much.
So our last but not least awardee is Dr. Michael Euler, who is Professor Emeritus in Biological Chemistry and Research Professor Emeritus in the Michigan Neuroscience Institute at the Medical School. Speaking on his behalf is Dr. Isha Verman, who is research staff in neurology.
Hi. Pick a mentor who is kind. They are generally the smartest, is the advice given to the students when they are trying to choose a mentor. Mike is a perfect example of this. He's the rare combination of being kind and intelligent without a sense of superiority. Rarely ever you find a mentor and a teacher who is so committed to the success of their students. Mike has made enormous impacts on countless trainees through his long-lasting contribution to research and teaching. Each of his trainees has felt uniquely supported by him, have turned to him at multiple stages of their career, and consider him a lifelong mentor. Personally, Mike had taught me so many things about stem cells and neuroscience, but the most important thing that I have learned from him is the importance of kindness, empathy, and generosity in sciences. So here's to Mike and all the awardees today. May we know them, may we have the opportunities to learn from them, and may we become them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isha. So my last comments, the first half is all thank yous, and then the last part is whatever wisdom I can come up with. So first of all, I want to thank Mish-R because this process of recognizing mentorship is so important, and it just kindles, you know, the feelings among the faculty and the students and the staff and everyone. Then I would like to thank the top conspirator, Isha, as well as all of her co-conspirators who range from students who were in the lab 30 years ago who came from out of state to come and visit and say hi, to the current PhD students who are that close to graduating. So I want to thank everyone for being supportive of my nomination. I certainly don't deserve it. But I'm humbled by the whole process. And then my key wisdom with respect to mentorship is when I was in college, I always boiled down the courses for the finals to a 3x5 card. And I would write down the formulas. So you start off with a textbook that was 350 pages long, and you boil it down to a 3x5 card, one side, and just memorize all the formulas and make sure you knew the connections between them and things. And so I've sort of done that through life as well. And I have a 3x5 card for faculty performance. And with the line that refers to mentorship is respect hope. And so all of the students and the staff and the custodians and the department chairs come into the university with a measure of hope. And it's just a matter of teasing out how they define that and what you can do to keep that flame going and grow with time. So with that, I want to thank everyone for coming, and I humbly accept the award. Thanks.
So thank you all for the incredible words of wisdom that you have shared, both from the mentors and the mentees. Everyone is incredibly deserving. And we want to also have another special thanks for Dr. Liz Harry, who spoke today. And everyone who's in attendance, either virtually or in person, you're part of this community, and we thank you for all of the support and showing up and celebrating with us. So we just, before we just continue the celebration with some refreshments, I just want to make a couple of small announcements. Please watch for the additional mentoring programming that we offer through Mish-R throughout the year. Consider nominating another exceptional mentor for the 2025 Mentor Award. The nominations will open in winter of 2025. And in addition, during the fall and next winter, we will be holding our Mish-R Mentoring Academy sessions. So I'll ask all of the awardees to come up for a group photo, please. But with that, I'd like to have another really, really strong welcome or strong round of applause for all of our awardees. And thank you for coming, and enjoy mingling and refreshments.